Welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, that is called Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our director of football recruiting, Dina King. And Dina, signing day goes on. This is the class of 2022 signing day for North Carolina football. A lot of kids' signatures are rolling in. As each one arrives at the Keenum Football Center, we are rolling out a podcast discussing that Tar Heel. And right now, the last one to send his in is Andre Greene, a four-star wide receiver from St. Christopher's in Richmond, Virginia. He is the number 37 overall prospect nationally. He is the number 4 wide receiver nationally, and he is a number 3 overall prospect in the talent-rich Commonwealth of Virginia. 6'3", 180 pounds. He committed to Carolina not that long ago, November 17th. An enormous pickup, and I'm going to remind you of something because this is going to be a lot of what we talk about. But Andre Greene, in the summertime, we said he's a luxury. They don't really have to get him. He's just a luxury. Well, as it turns out, he might be not only one of the best pickups in the class, but one of the most important pickups in the class, given how things played out this fall.
Yeah, I remember talking about that because, we felt the talent and the depth in the wide receiver room, and then the transfer portal hit. And so Carolina, they wasn't really pursuing wide receivers. They're not going to turn down a 4-star like Andre Greene Jr. But then when all that happened, he even became I would say their main priority skill wise. And I think he probably made most Tar Heel fans happy. I know they were happy in landing Travis and landing Zach, but to get Andre Greene, that big time playmaker, 6'3", that they most Tar Heel fans are envious of all these other schools like Wake Forest having those big, tall wide receivers, Clemson having those big, tall wide receivers, Alabama, Georgia. They got them a big-time elite playmaker that can go up and get the ball, and when he does get the ball, scoot and go take it to the house. So
they also needed a guy, Dina, to take the top off the defense.
Mm-hmm.
That was lacking this past year.
When Josh Downs is tweeting at you saying, hey, we need you, that means something. And it was a huge recruiting win for Coach Brown. Another battle between Georgia and Clemson. They beat those two schools for Travis Shaw, and then they beat them head to head with Andre Greene. So North Carolina is starting to, after last year and this year, become a national household name. They're going against these elite programs for these kids and actually landing them now.
Well, staying on that topic, Carolina and a lot of schools are going to get a couple of kids like this in their class. And Carolina has, even if you go back and look at the prior regimes in the football program from when Mac left and came back, Larry Fedora had some really good classes. Butch Davis had some really good classes. John Bunting had the number 13 class in America at one year. So Carolina has done a pretty decent job historically of recruiting because they get a few kids like this. But to me, they had already had a lot of guys like this for their position. When they got him in November, that's kind of what tipped the class. That and Zach Rice. But getting this skill guy that maybe in the summertime, people thought, man, there's no way North Carolina gets him. A, because there wasn't a great need. B, because he can go somewhere else. Why wouldn't a kid like that go to a Clemson? Why wouldn't he go to a Georgia, race down the field, play in big games, and go right to the NFL in 3 years? When they landed him, to me, that validated an awful lot of what this program's doing because he committed when they were struggling. He committed when they were losing games. He committed when one of the schools that was hot after him was number 1 in the country all year long. This, to me, helps validate the vision of the program. And we keep talking about the direction of the program. A lot of it behind the scenes is headed in the right way. This, to me, is an example of that.
Yeah, he, it was like a big time like boxing match. everybody was monitoring his every move. His team was very successful. St. Christopher's, and Clemson was wanting to get him back on campus for official visit, and he did a weird official visit. It was almost kind of like Malachi's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday official visit, and he did. But the pull for the Tar Heels, a lot of Virginia guys, Dre Bly, the connection there. It was just a good draw for Andre Greene, and we keep going back to a certain cookout back in the summer where a certain TikTok video came out, and they did not miss on either on all of them. Every one of them was on there. Petway, Holloway, Chapman, Tony Grimes was in there.
Yeah.
And then Andre
they got the whole group. Yeah, Andre Greene
and
Travis.
And Zach.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, kudos to Adam Freeman, one of our national guys who handles this region, who did a really nice job covering his recruitment, especially as it was winding down. And I'll tell you, everybody, if you're watching and you're not a subscriber to THI, you can get a 1-year subscription for just $8.33 a month. And you would have been like the ball, the ball that bounces on those cartoons at each letter or each word so the little kids could sing along. You could have followed crunch time of his recruitment on our board if you were a member, because of what you were doing and because of the great work that Adam Friedman did as well in his recruitment. Andre Greene, a 4-star wide receiver, the number 37 overall prospect. Carolina has 3 of the top 37 kids in the nation in this class. He is the latest Tar Heel to send his signed letter of intent to the Keenan Football Center. And we are going to continue discussing each one of these kids as their LOIs arrive in Chapel Hill. She's Dina. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.